Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool video for you this evening. This is an extra video. We did a video a while back where I was talking about a bunch of film that I bought at the flea market. And we brought out I got out a projector and we watched a couple movies and then I uploaded it and some people said that they would like to see more. So I'll tell you the story real quick again, and then I've got another projector we're going to try here in a minute. So we were using an Argus projector on the last one, and that I bought at a thrift store a long time ago. And I had to oil it a little bit and stuff, but we got it to kind of work, and it wasn't the greatest, but we were able to watch a couple of them. I went to the flea market one day, and this guy that I know up there had an entire box of this film from some family. It was all their home movies, and it's old. It's stuff from like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. And he sold me the whole box for 20 bucks. It's kind of sad in a way, but I like to think that they were able to copy them all to video or VHS or I guess DVD now or digital now, where they can just have it on anything. So hopefully they've got copies of all these, but I've got all the originals now because I wasn't going to let things get thrown away or turned into an art project or something. So I do not know these people, never met them before in my life. I literally bought this stuff at the flea market. So on the last one, we watched some films, 2 or 3 of them, and a couple just commercial ones that I had too. So for instance, I've got this one we might try later, The Adventures of Tarzan. It's a Super 8. So I was born in 1978. I never messed with any of this stuff. I can remember when I was about 5 years old, we didn't have much money, but my dad bought a VCR at the flea market or something back when I was like 5. And I can remember we had like 2 tapes for it. And then he came home one day and he had a brand new tape that he had spent like $3 on. And he showed me how to record, he did it, but he was showing me how that you can record stuff off TV and then you can watch it back and you don't have to pay for it or anything. And the reason that he bought it was because that night he wanted to tape the Motown 25th anniversary special. And so we did. We taped the Motown 25th anniversary special that night. So whole point being, when I was a kid, we didn't have projectors. We had VCRs and VHS tapes. That's just how I grew up. Also, up until I was probably 16 or so, 15 or 16, we didn't film home movies either. So when we finally did, it was on a camcorder with a those little mini cassettes. Was that High 8 or what was that? I don't know what that was called. And I've still got that stuff, right? So my whole point being, all of this film stuff is way before my time. Never messed with it. Don't know a thing about it. But I always thought it was cool. Everybody likes the movies and everything. So from time to time, I would see a projector and pick the thing up just because they're, like this one was $10. Right? Why not? And then I found all these films, and I had a bunch of, these kind of films that I'd picked up from place to place. You can see I got quite a collection of stuff. I've got my trusty screen set back up. So when I was in school, though, whenever I was in elementary school, they would still break out the projector from time to time and you'd watch a film. And I think a lot of times it was in the library or something. I don't remember any specifics, but I remember it a little bit, right? So I know just a little bit about it. So I've always heard of 8mm and Super 8. Didn't know the difference. And then I figured out on the last video that I had a bunch of them that were thicker that won't play on this or any of the ones that I've got. I've got about 5 projectors and none of them will play that thicker stuff, which apparently is 16mm. I always thought that was weird how the resolution went down over the years. They started out, I've heard that those old-timey cameras with the big plates in them and everything are super high resolution, right? And then we eventually got down to 110 or whatever that was, those little throwaway cameras. But anyway, so the 16mm ones are about twice the size of these. I don't have a projector to play any of those, and they were none of the home movies. They were just commercial stuff. And I guess that was just really old stuff. So I put all them up. So all of these are 8mm or Super 8. So anyway, this projector here, I watched a couple of them. I was just kind of sorting through some stuff. I haven't watched any of these. I did watch a couple of the other ones. This projector is only 8mm. It's not a Super 8. This is a kind of cool one. I'll turn it on for just a second. Right? Let me show you when the light comes on, it like illuminates this up here. Now it's a Deja. I don't know. But, you know, I don't want to waste my bulb, people. But this one will only play 8mm. So I've got another one here that looks like it's much newer, and it looks like it plays 8mm and Super 8. So let me grab that one so that we'll be able to watch any kind that we want and see if we can get anything to play on it. Okay, so this is just a really cool looking Bell and Howell, which I would assume is a nicer brand. Still got all the paperwork and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Somebody had something nice. Reels and cans. You know, one of the problems I had was I didn't have any empty reels for that other one that was just a 8mm. It's missing the extra reel, the take-up reel. So I need to get some of those. And the thing is, I was somewhere a while back. I can't remember where I was. And I found a bunch of them. And I was looking at them, and I was thinking, oh, man, there's no film in them. But I should have bought a couple just so I'd have a couple extra take-up reels. But whatever. I'll get some more, people. Don't worry about it. How to use your Bell & Howell compatible movie projector with multi-motion. Nah, we don't need to read that. What fun is that? Additional information. Very cool. So I don't, you know, the lamp might be bad in it or something. They might have used it. Used it and abused it. That's pretty cool. All right, so let me see if I can rig a film up in it. All right, the thing ain't working right. So I was reading up on it a little bit, and it looks like there's some little rubber cones. I got it unplugged. Looks like there's some little rubber cones that go there, there, and maybe there. That break apart, and then it'll no longer work right. So right now, I've got it in reverse. The drive belt is actually fine. Or usable. You can see the shaft is turning, but it's not interacting with this quite right. And I think it's because there's a piece of rubber that is disintegrated. Okay. And you can see there is a bunch of trash down on the bottom of it that's pieces of something. And I got this out of there. So I think that's what's left of whatever piece of rubber is supposed to be in there. So they make a little kit where they make reproduction. So I'm going to order that. And then hopefully we can get her working a little better. This is my best Super 8 machine. The belt, the long belt here doesn't turn anything. What happens is this turns, and when this turns, it turns that belt, which just turns the counter down here. So it's completely unnecessary. You don't even need it. But I do need the little rubber cones or whatever. And so I think I'm going to order them. All right, folks. So a little bit of time has passed. Things got a little tricky. So I needed the parts, right? So I went online, and there's a guy on eBay who sells the parts. He is the only person in the world that sells the parts, unbelievably, but he has the parts. So I went to buy them. They're kind of expensive, but I need them to get this nice projector to work. It wouldn't let me buy them. He has me blocked on eBay, right? Now, I don't know this guy. I ain't never bought nothing from him. He's never bought anything from me that I know of. Never met this guy before in my life. I think what happened was I must have got on a list or something. I don't know. But he must have got a list of people to block and blocked me, not knowing any better. I've got perfect feedback. I don't have any strikes against me on eBay. Haven't had any, you know me, I'm a little angel. I would never argue with a customer or anything. So I've never had any kind of trouble with anybody on eBay or anything that I know of. But for whatever reason, he had me blocked. So I emailed the guy and I said, hey man, I want to buy your stuff, but I'm blocked. Can you unblock me? And he didn't answer, which I don't really blame him. If I had somebody blocked and I couldn't remember why, I wouldn't unblock him either. So I don't know. There's just a big misunderstanding though. I didn't do nothing. I don't know this guy. Okay, so I started talking with Joe, my brother Joe, and I thought, we got to figure out how to get these things. And so we decided that deception would be the best plan. And so we thought, okay, how can we trick this guy into selling us the parts that we need? Right? And so we did what always works. We tricked him with women. So we just, tricked him with women and got the parts. So I got him in. So let's read his instructions. Just so we're clear, I have no ill will towards this guy. I don't know him from Adam. I don't know why he's got me blocked. Maybe he's got a good reason that I don't understand, but I've never talked to him before. But we ended up getting the stuff. So it's all good. Bell & Howell Lumina 2 MX LX QX KX series. Cone tire install. Unplugged a projector. Check. We got to think up a name for this guy. What are we going to call him? He didn't trust me. I was going to write his name down. He didn't trust me. Which means I guess we're going... Well, I don't want to call anybody that. Let's call him Louie. I'll just make up Louie. So Louie says, unplug projector. Okay, Louie, we unplugged it. Remove the bulb. Louie, I'm, I don't know if I'm going to remove the damn bulb just to change the... How do you even remove the bulb? Bulb has been removed. Lay down padding. Lay projector on its front side so top handle is facing you. Top handle is facing me. Okay. Remove 6 back cover screws. 1 screw is located under adapter cover door. I got it off, Louie. Locate the black plastic fan blade. Okay. To help locate black metal fan bracket held on by 3 screws. I see it. Remove the 3 screws securing the black metal fan bracket. Remove the long... God, this is kind of hard to follow. Remove long, round metal gear shaft from side of bracket. Okay. So that's loose, and the little thing just kind of slides up in there. Now, follow round metal gear shaft to far right of projector and locate its white nylon mount bracket. Remove the 2 white nylon bracket mount screws. Now, remove long, round metal gear shaft. All right. Go back to black metal fan bracket and move it out of the way for access to the clutch pieces. Locate 11/16 wide by 3-inch long silver metal clutch fork. It is pressing on top of the round clutch. 11/16 wide and 3 inches long silver metal clutch fork. I see it. I also remember the nylon clutch fork. Okay. Also remember nylon clutch fork. Adjust nut. Adjust nut tightened. Position to help for proper later reinstall adjust of nylon nut. Okay. Number 10, now remove the nylon, adjust nut, and silver metal clutch fork. So I think he's saying I believe he's saying take that loose, but he's saying the adjustment. I wonder if he's talking about, did I just unadjust the crap out of it? I don't know, folks. I don't know. We're going to take that nut off, though. In order, lift off round center clutch, round gear. Lift out center of clutch. Number 13, lift off small spring, small washer, C-clip, small washer, white nylon bushing, flat metal spring clip from metal shaft. This is going to go great. I'm sure this won't be a problem. Now, folks, if you've wondered why I'm filming such mundane crap, this is one of the reasons. Will the whole thing please come loose? Come on now. All right, so that's that. This was like that. Maybe it'll stay there. Lift off small spring, small washer. Yeah, look. Okay, we need a good shot of that, don't we? Oh, come on. You know this is going to be a problem. Small spring. You don't think I'll lose that, do you? Holy crap. Will that whole thing just come up? Nope. All right, folks. I'm going to have to lay you down for a minute. All right, so this is the order that it was in. This came off the shaft. This is actually a couple pieces. And then the spring, and then the washer. I couldn't tell what was going on there, so I bent it up a little bit, but I think it'll be all right. But it just slides right off. Underneath the washer is a C-clip, which is what I couldn't figure out. This washer is really thin. Then a C-clip, and then he has listed that there's a washer, but mine was actually 2, unless that's one washer broke in half. I don't know. And then this thing came off, and then underneath that was this. And then once I got all that off, this lifted right off, okay? So that, to get to, you have to pull this to the side, and then the whole thing just slides up. So here are the cone things, apparently. See these 3 pieces of plastic? They're supposed to have a rubber tire on them, and without the rubber tire, it can't turn the clutch and all of that properly. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit, and let's see. I'm just going to read through that part of it. Locate the 2 cone tires on the left side. Loosen the 2 metal mount brackets and screws that hold both short chrome tire shafts. Remove both plastic cone tire plastic bushings washers, both chrome shafts. Remove the old cone tires from both bushings and install new cone tires onto each plastic bushing. Now reinstall both short chrome tire shafts, both shaft washers, both bushings, both metal mount brackets, and all 4 screws. Locate the motor drive shaft cone tire on the right side. Remove the metal motor drive shaft. metal mount bracket, and 2 screws. Lift up on drive shaft end while holding drive shaft end up. Slip off the old cone motor drive tire from the plastic bushing. Hold bushing in place. Slip on new cone motor drive tire. So they're saying loosen those 2 screws, pull this up, put a new tire on it. Loosen these, pull these out, put new tires on them. So I'm going to do all that, clean it up a little bit, and hopefully that'll fix this up. All right, it has this included just to help you. So this is the stuff we took out. That is the top little plastic piece. There's the little spring, the little washer, the C-clip, the other washer. On mine there were 2 washers here, unless it's one broken in half. The little plastic piece, the metal thing, and then this whole thing was 1 piece. Okay, and then the cones, if you look, there's one and there's another. If you look, they're kind of like a, well, they're this way. Right? So the fat end is towards the shaft. All right, so we got our 3 rubber tires in. So now I got to reassemble it. All right, so it's been about an hour, but I finally got the thing back in. You can't do it the way the instructions say. I mean, I'm sure the guy's done 1,000 of them, but, you know, I got to go with what my experience, and you can't. This is, right? If you take that damn C-clip off, you will regret it for the rest of your hour. Don't do it. You can't put it back on. If you've got those new cones in there, you can't push that thing down. So you got to take this whole piece out just to get that C-clip back on. Bad idea. Don't do it. Not even once. So I took the piece off the front that holds the reel. It also has a C-clip, but you can get to it. So you take that off, and then you can kind of finagle it out of there once you take these 2 out. And then you can change that cone, finagle it back in, and then now we're going to try to get these 2 back in. Taking that C-clip off, worst idea in the history of man. Don't do it. Well, the good news is I've got it all back together. Let me show you the bad news. This is going to be the longest video. So here's the bad news. Putting that in there made that more stiff. So now this, you gotta be careful if you do this, by the way. That's a spinning blade. This is spinning and slipping on the belt because the belt's not tight enough. Okay, well that's fine because I bought a belt, right? So I've got a belt. Now I was wondering when I bought this, why they don't give you instructions on replacing the belt. So now I know why they don't give you instructions on replacing the belt. It's because it's nearly impossible, that's why. So if you look, the belt loops around here, so you can take that off easy enough, right? That's no big deal. That comes right off. But then you have to loop it around back there and explain to me how you would do that. All this up here is attached to like the shutter and everything. So you would have to take that whole piece off or something. They must have put the belt on there and looped it around whenever they built the thing. And there's no easy way to do it. If we took all of this back apart, and then there is a set screw down in here. If you turn it, you can see it's coming. If we took that set screw out, you could possibly slide this shaft out. But then I still don't know if you would have enough room to get the belt around that to loop it around. It's just a really bad design. So I Googled it. how in the world are you changing the projection belt? There must be some trick. They must have put a little piece that comes off or something to make it easy. General consensus is no, there's no easy way to do it. So I was on the 8mm forum. I believe that's what it's called, 8mm forum. And there was a nice lady on there who had done this before, and she was showing, see how this just little slip? She was showing how she did it. And so basically what she did was she bought some polyurethane belting that you can cut and then join together with a splice, a heat splice. Right? So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to order that stuff, and it'll be here whenever the video comes back. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, folks, so time has passed. I'd used whenever I started filming this video, I was working on 2 projectors. I couldn't get this one because of this belt whenever I started the video. And then I did the rubber grommets in here, you saw that. Got that taken care of, but then we had the problem with the belt. So I had that replacement belt. It's just crazy to try to put the thing in. So I sat it to the side for a while. We fixed another projector. I already showed you that video a long time ago, and we watched some videos with that projector. So what can we do about this projector? Well, I'll show you what I did. I took the old belt and I cut it off because it was too hard to disassemble the entire projector to get the thing out. So I just cut off the old belt. You can see it's deformed from just sitting in there all those years. Okay. And then I ordered some of this stuff. This is 1/8 of an inch polyurethane belting material. This stuff doesn't stretch much. It's got a little bit of stretch to it, but it's not much. And it's polyurethane. Okay. It's 1/8 inch. It's about the same size as this belting. Now, it's not perfect, but considering the circumstances, that's that. So I cut that out, and then I cut one of these slightly smaller than this belt, since this one was slipping. So I assumed that this one, that this one has stretched a little bit. So then I took the pieces and I got good at cutting the belt, holding it in my hand like this, and then taking my soldering iron and heating up the end of it. And the soldering iron will just melt right through this stuff. So when I first did it, I had the soldering iron too hot. And it just burned right through it, and it made all kinds of bubbles, and it just made a big mess. So I turned it down to about 650 degrees. And while I was holding the belt, I was literally holding it like this. I'll show you my little trick here. So you got to be good at chopsticks to make this happen, you know. So I wrapped the belt inside the projector. I burned it, both ends, and then I stuck them together. I can't do it right now because I'm looking through the camera. I stuck them together, right? Once I stuck them together, I put down the soldering iron, and then with both hands, I pushed the thing together. You've got about 10 seconds while it's still melting after you do that, right? And I got a pretty good joint. And then another 5-10 seconds, and it was on there pretty strong. Now, once you do that, it's going to look real ugly like this. So I took some little snippers, and I cut the edge off, and I cut a lot of that off, as much as I could. Right? And it took me 1 or 2 tries to get it right. This was my little test one to see if I could figure it out. And you can see this doesn't stretch very much. And if you get it good enough, it goes back together and holds really good. If you do it and it just comes right back apart, you're probably too hot. Whenever I turned down the soldering iron, it worked a lot better. And then once you get it hot, you don't want them to just touch. You want to actually push them together. And so I was able to use both hands once I put the soldering iron down to push them together. Now the tricky part is it's inside the machine, right? But I was able to loop it together. And I'm going to show you the ugly part just because it'll be all right. So there is the seam. Once I cut the extra off, I just took the soldering iron and cleaned it up a little bit by rubbing the soldering iron over it a little bit to try to blend it a little bit to make it, to try to hide as much of the seam as I could so that it won't drag when it goes through. All right, and with that said, here we go. Here's the test, if I can do it without cutting myself. It's working just fine. What do you think? I think we might be able to watch a movie now. And if I set it on forward, it goes forward. And if I set it on reverse, it goes in reverse. So there you go. If you've got one that is tricky to get to the belt, it's not ideal. It's not the best thing. But just make a new belt. Works great. All right, folks. More time has passed. I believe I've got it. You have to get the... I don't want to say nothing bad about it because in case it messes up. A lot of work into this. Okay, so at the beginning of the video that I started filming, it seems like 10 years ago, I mentioned that I was trying to watch a film that I think was filmed at Disneyland. We've already been through all that. We watched that on another video. So what happened was I started working on this projector. I couldn't fix it. I had to order parts. I fixed another projector and we watched the Disneyland video. Now I put that video out already. So the beginning of this video was me working on this before I fixed the other one. You get the whole point, right? I finally fixed it, I think. But we can't watch the Disneyland video because we already watched it. But there are more videos to watch. So, look what I picked up in an estate sale. There are 2 cans here. One of them has an empty reel in it. And one of them has a reel of film in it. Now, on the can, it says Smith's Drug No. 2 Photo Headquarters. I bought these in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That doesn't mean that it's from Rock Hill, South Carolina. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find this drugstore. That should tell us where the video was filmed, if it's still in its original case. And I think it is because it's the same color. I think they bought the film from this place, filmed a video, and then had this place develop it. So we need to find this place and then we'll watch the video. Okay, folks, it took me forever to find it. But at 441 East Henry Street in Spartanburg, by God, South Carolina, was Smith's Drugstore No. 2. That's what it looked like. They have since went out of business and remodeled the building, and it's another thing now. However, Smith's Drugstore No. 1 is still doing well downtown Spartanburg. So at some point, somebody walked in the front door of this building with that can that I've got and had this film developed. So let's see what's on it. Okay, folks, so I think I have got it all queued up. I've just got a camera on a tripod aimed at the screen. I don't have any way to scan it in or anything. It looks like it's going to be something decent. Let's give it a little watch. What have we got? Looks like a dad and his baby boy. Kind of out of focus. I'm going to zoom back out and see if that helps the focus. Nope. Dad playing piano. There's the daughter. The whole family's there. Well, I wonder what this is from. Is this just people partying? Like they've got slides out. The little girl's getting the dog to do tricks. The dog looks very happy. There's Mom. Okay, we got to guess the year by the clothes, I guess. And this is a regular 8. It's not a super 8. So, early 60s, I would guess. Spartanburg, South Carolina. They're playing ball in the house. They're literally just bouncing balls around. Everybody's into it, too. Where'd the little boys go? They all ran off. There were 2 or 3 little boys earlier, I think. And by the way, just so we're clear, this is not the same family from the other videos. I bought this completely separately at a different time. A lot of times you buy a projector and it has a couple videos with it, a couple reels with it. She's got something on her feet. Maybe she's wearing some kind of sandals or something. Or maybe her foot was hurt or something. Oh, they're doing a modeling show. Somebody mentioned on one of the previous videos that she got hit in the face with the ball. Dad's laughing. Somebody mentioned on one of the, she's going to get him back. On one of the previous videos that whenever you filmed this back in the day, you had to have really bright lights. And so people didn't like look. Oh, there's the Mona Lisa. People didn't like looking at the camera. Oh, they must have hit it. He's looking up at the painting. People didn't like looking right at the camera because you had these really bright lights shining in their face. All right, the girl's got the little doll babies out. Oh, this is a different day. Dad's got different clothes. Well, maybe that's somebody different. I can't tell what event this is. Oh, there's a Christmas tree. Okay, it's Christmas. She doesn't look that happy. Okay, I'm gonna stop it for a second and see if I move the angle of the tripod, if maybe it'll be less blurry. Yeah, I think we're more in focus now. She's winding an alarm clock, I think, or something. Oh, maybe. Is she getting Christmas ready? The kids are chilling. I don't think they like the lights. There's Grandma. There's the cat. Kids playing with the telephone. Nothing eventful has really happened yet. So this must be the Smith family, you know, the Smith Drug Company, number 2. So it looks like back in the day people did, dad teaching the daughter how to ride the bike. This is just how the film is. It's really bright here too. I can't darken it up really. Ooh, 50s cars. It's a Fairlane, maybe? Yeah, probably early 60s. There was another 50s car in the background, too. The kid is... It looks like Dad's encouraging the kid to ride the dog like a horse. Look at them walking out into their sweet house, getting in their freaking Fairlane. She's got her fur coat on. There's the whole gang of them. Boy, that Smith family rolled deep. Oh, I see what's good. They're filming the sun. The sun's backlighting everything, so it's making everything too bright. But whenever they get over where they're in front of the house, it's better. I'm not sure if this film is spliced. It may be that this was all smaller films that were spliced into a bigger film, because it's kind of going through the seasons a little bit. You wouldn't think they'd record all that on one reel. You'd think it would, the film would screw up sitting in the camera, but maybe that's not how it worked back then. What is she reading? I gotta say, the quality's not bad, really. I mean, at least looking at it here in person, it's a little more blurry on your end, but just looking at it, it's not bad considering how old it is. Look at the colors of the walls and stuff. That's kind of how people paint them today. It's kind of the same style. White baseboards, wood floors, blue-gray wall. The other one was brown. So somebody took a video of the women talking. Now we got a video of the dudes talking. His mom in the kitchen cleaning up the coffee pot. The crock pot. Boy, it's clean, isn't it? She cleaned that thing right up. Oh, wow. Where is this? That's Rock Hill. Oh, wow. That's the Glencairn Gardens in Rock Hill. See the fountain? A guy built that for his wife. He made that whole park as a gift for his wife. And he made that fountain by hand. Somebody left me a bad review on my website one time, on Google. And whenever I went and checked the other reviews that he had left Glencairn Gardens a bad review. So he went to this garden. There's nobody there. It's just a garden. And he left the garden a bad review. 1 star. Maybe that's just a similar garden. I don't know. I believe I'm right. Back to the cats. It seems like all through history, people with a camera have been fascinated by their cats. It's still like that. They had a little bit of land. Like that's a building behind their house. Look at the land around them. You know, I remember where the estate sale was. I wonder if it was that house. I don't. It didn't. And that didn't look like that. So I would guess we're, you know, that there's another car. I was just about to talk about the age. Ooh, that ought to be dateable. I mean, we ought to be able to figure out where that is. It's a cemetery. So they're at a church, I guess. Okay, that's the house that I bought the stuff out of. I haven't seen one car that's in the 60s, so it's probably 1960 or maybe 58, 59. Ice cream man. Yeah, so this house was in East Rock Hill over by Leslie, which is just right outside of Rock Hill. And that house that they just showed, that's the house that I went in that left door and this stuff was sitting right on a table inside that door. And the kids are all about the same age. Whoop. It's giving me trouble. Film was getting jammed in the reel. They found a wading pool somewhere. They're at the lake. That's probably Lake Wiley. So there must be a park somewhere near Lake Wiley that has a little wading pool in it. Maybe Springs, which was actually, well, yeah. Springs Industries had a park down there like that, right on the water, and if you worked for Springs, you could go down there for free. But there was a lot bigger pool. All right, folks, that was the end of it. Pretty cool. A little glimpse in time, about 1959, 1960, in beautiful Rock Hill, South Carolina. For some reason, they got it developed in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is down near Columbia, actually. Have I got that right? No. I don't know. Something doesn't add up. Spartanburg is pretty far away from Rock Hill, actually. It's like about an hour. So I don't know. Maybe Grandma and Grandpa had the camera. And they got the film developed back at their house or something. I don't know. But that home that they showed at the end, with the screen porch on the left, and the carport to the left of that, and then behind it was a garage. That's where I picked this stuff up. I got a projector and these two film cans, but one of the cans just has an empty reel in it. So it's just, to me, this is just amazing. I mean, this is so wild. If these things get stuck, it'll burn right through the film. But to me, it's just amazing that this stuff is out there like this, just blows my mind. Come on, you sucker. Because, to the family, I'm sure it was important, but they probably copied it at some point to something else. Or, I mean, I'm not in charge of what they sell at estate sales, you know what I mean? And if I didn't buy it, somebody else would have bought it. So I don't feel too sad about it. And like I said, we don't know. They may have copied it 30 years ago, and they've got VHS tapes of this. And this stuff's just been laying around the house. But to me, it's just interesting because whenever I was a kid, we didn't have film recorders. So this is antique technology to me. But fun to play with. And the thing that I always like about all this old stuff is that it still works. This one, not great. This recorder, this projector, but I gotta tell you, people, and you'll never hear me really say this about anything, but this projector, I've messed with a bunch of them. This is a Bell & Howell. It ain't that great. It just, that clutch design really screws you up with those rubber pieces that you need, and then once you get it all back together, you have to have it adjusted just right for that clutch to work in one direction and then back in the other direction. And other projectors that I've had aren't as finicky. They were easier to fix. They worked better. I mean, it just, whenever I bought this thing, and all of these projectors you buy for like $5, they're not expensive. Whenever I bought this thing, I thought, wow, what a freaking cool Bell & Howell. It does regular 8 and Super 8. It just, I mean, it looks like a really nice projector, but whenever you start messing with it, as you saw in this video, it's a piece of junk, man. I mean, I hate that. It was probably cool whenever it first came out, but they're all so old now that they need repair. And if you can't repair it, what good is it? So my advice would be, and I hate to say it, I don't like saying this about anything, but my advice would be don't buy one of these. Buy a Kodak, or, you know, if you watch some of the other videos I've done, the other 2 or 3 projectors that I've messed with are much better than this one. This one looks better than those, but it don't work worth a damn. So that's that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. We didn't have to do that, people. I know people enjoyed our previous ones. This video, not, you know, nothing, I mean, this film here that we just watched, nothing amazing happened on it or anything. The other one, they went to Disneyland, the other family. But to me, it's kind of cool seeing a little bit of Rock Hill. You know, I know since I'm here local, like seeing the garden and seeing them out messing around on Lake Wiley and seeing the house that I went in to pick up this stuff. To me, it's cool, but to you, it might not be that cool. But hey, that's what 1959 or 1960 looked like. Those cars, a couple of them, I think that was a Fairlane with the, or it may have been a Fury. That may have been a Fury, actually, not a Fairlane. That Fury with the big wings, that's the Christine Fury, which is, I think, a 58 or a 59. So, but you would think maybe the car would be a year or two old. But I didn't see any that were from like the mid 60s or anything. So late 50s or 1960 or so would be how I date it. So it's kind of cool to just see how a little snapshot of how those people's lives were back then. It's not too different than how our lives are now if we'd all put the freaking cell phone down, right? So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next video. I'll see you back here Tuesday with a new pinball machine video. I think we're working on Dracula right now, just in time for Halloween. So I'll see you here in a couple days on that, and make sure to check out my brother's channel. My brother Donnie has his own channel here on YouTube. I keep having people ask me, what is the name of his channel? The name of his channel is My Brother Donnie. That's the whole gimmick. Come on, people. So if you haven't seen his channel yet, go check it out. The link is down below. I work on arcade games, jukeboxes, and pinball machines with my brother Joe. My brother Donnie does old buildings, old vehicles, things like that. He has a farm, and so he has a lot of interesting things he does on his channel too. So I'm over there with him on his channel quite a bit, so check it out. But I will see you back here in a couple days. I hope you enjoyed it. On these Sunday videos, we try to just have a little, relax a little bit, and, you know, just mess around with other things that don't have anything to do with coin operated equipment. It's just stuff I enjoy doing. I love old stuff and antiques, and especially when they still work. And you know, I'm talking crap about the projector, but it projected, so it's kind of still working. All right, folks, I'll see you Tuesday.